Motivational message day. It is Thriving Thursday, and we do motivation every day because it's a lot like taking a bath or our personal hygiene. You want to keep up with those particular habits because they're good for you. They make you feel better, they make you show up with better energy. And if we're doing it for the exterior, we want to do it for the interior because the inner root is always going to show up in the outer fruit. And I want to invite you this morning to take a centering moment, to take some time to really take stock of what you have achieved up to this point and what you can achieve moving forward. Sometimes we get caught up in the rush of life. We get caught up in the drama of life. We can get caught up in the highs and lows of life. And we can look up and time has passed and we really haven't kept track of how we've been showing up every day. And a lot of times we can find ourselves in perpetual reactive mode because it's all we have the time or the bandwidth to consider. There are those of you who are working incredibly hard right now. And you're working hard because there are limitations to what you can earn based on the work that you're doing. And because of it, you have to put in more hours in order to just keep your heads above water. Some of you are dealing with some tremendous difficulties in your life right now. You may be caring for a loved one. You may be having health struggles. You may be dealing with difficult and challenging times in your relationships. You may be having some parenting challenges. You might be having some personal inner demons that you are wrestling with and struggling with. That is a part of the journey and understanding your power source, taking the time to center yourself. We have to have these centering moments every day. And what happens is we let days and sometimes weeks and even months go by without having that centering moment. And what will typically take its place is something that can control, or actually it takes us out of control. So, for example, there are people that look for the centering moment in alcohol. They will find themselves having a drink or two or three in order to center themselves in something that they deem is making them feel good, even though there are repercussions, there are byproducts of that that are not good. But we call it an escape. There are some people who will utilize the distractions of their phones and the scrolling and stories and vicariously living through the distractions on this weapon of mass distraction that we hold in our hands. Sometimes it's the electronic income producer, the screen. Yeah, it could be movies or television. And those are centering moments, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the centering moment that you create for yourself. Finding that space, finding some words that can give you power, that can give you reassurance, that can give you calm in the midst of life's storms. We have to be willing to take stock, first and foremost, and recognize there have been moments in your life where you have achieved some things, you have come through some things, you have overcome some things, and who you were in order to achieve that, to do that. You had to be a certain type of person. The greatest lessons that I have learned have come through trial and tribulation. There have been celebratory moments for sure, but it was the struggle in order to get to that moment that I appreciate more than anything else. That is where the greatest lessons were taught. Those moments of recognition are quick. They come and they go, but it's the process that we must learn to embrace and refine and continuously tweak and cultivate as we go along, because that's the growth. That's where everything takes place. And if you're a single parent out here and you're running around and you're working a couple of jobs and you're just wanting to make sure that your kids have an environment where they can thrive, and it's all you can do to just do that. And if you could steal a moment, if you could steal a sliver of an evening for yourself, you're grateful. I understand you want to have some time. If you have to get up a little bit earlier, just to have some stillness and center yourselves in your moment of reflection, in your moment of recognition of who you are and who you're becoming, in your moment of creating a sharper image of where you're moving toward. What is your vision for your life? It allows you to remember what you're capable of. If you just go in the reactive mode, if you're just moving to survive the day or just getting through the day instead of getting from the day, you're going to miss these opportunities to fine tune your process. And so there's moments of stillness. There's moments of appreciation that we must give to ourselves. We have to have gratitude for ourselves and where we've come from, what we've overcome, and what we stand to gain in becoming more. There's so much more for you. And I don't want you to lose sight of that. I understand that if there's been a process and maybe you've been stuck for months or even years, and it's getting unstuck. Well, it starts with you taking that personal inventory. It starts with you understanding that there's so much more in you because you've been leaving a lot on the table. You've been leaving a lot of meat on the bone because there's this process of recognizing, man, I haven't even come close to my capacity. I believe most of us are thinking in and of itself is a natural limitation. Our thinking is more reactive than creative. It's more reactive than responsive. And when you take 100% responsibility for where you're at, because wherever you're at in your life right now, you made an appointment to be there by the choices that you've made, the things that you've done or not done. And so you have that same power to reinvent and recreate yourself. But I want you to realize that there's some things that you've done that prove that you can recreate yourself, that prove that you can overcome, that prove that you will come out on the other side of this and you'll be better for it. It's not easy. It's not anything that doesn't forge a greater version of yourself. When those sculptors are creating this beautiful work of art and they're chipping away at this massive body of stone and they're chipping and chipping and chipping and chipping. Well, what's to be revealed every time you chip? Let's imagine that is you coming and emerging. That's not comfortable. You know, like you're chipping away. There's some pain and discomfort in that chipping away, and it takes time and there's a lot of attention to the detail, and it takes time and it takes longer than we thought it would. But you're chipping away, but you're creating a masterpiece because you are a piece of the master. There's things inside of you that you haven't even reached for yet. There are things that you have yet to discover that are going to shock and awe you. And it starts with the centering moment. Think about the times in your life that you have broken through. Think about the times in your life when you have weathered storms. Think about the times in your life when you have come to the aid of others in service to helping them to weather their storms. Whenever you have these moments of struggle, find someone to bless. Find someone to pour into. Find someone to add value to. Take the focus off of yourself and put it on to someone or something else. What's a situation that you can make better by your presence? Whose life can you bless with a kind word, a phone call, a letter, some encouragement? And If you continue to do that while you're cultivating your own path, while you're navigating your own trials and tribulation, you'll be better for it. Count your blessings, because when you start to focus on those, you'll realize just how innumerable they are. This is my word for you today, your centering moment. Take that time. Be still and know and hear from your Creator. Know what you're capable of. If you got some value, please like and subscribe. Go ahead and share this message as well, because it is a blessing to be a blessing.